Hey guys, it's Jim, welcome back to the channel, and in this video we're going to be talking about the new Green Day album, Saviors. Now, I've had a strange relationship with Green Day for the last few albums. I don't think they've been very good for years. They're one of my favourite bands of all time, so it's kind of been disappointing to hear them. I mean, Revolution Radio was okay, the Uno Dos Tres trilogy was awful. There's some good songs in there, but just for like throwing stuff at the wall, and none of it was really that great. Father of All was just a load of old arse. It's one of the worst albums of any rock band in the last 20 years.
What the fuck?
So I didn't have much hope. And then they turned up with The American Dream Is Killing Me. That song immediately grabbed my attention, got me excited. It's punchy, it's punky, it's energetic, and it feels thoughtful. It feels like Green Day have actually put some effort. It feels like their heart's in this again. So this album, Saviors, is great. I really, really love the album. I was a bit put off because I saw some early reviews calling it bad, and I was like, I can't be the only one who loves this. And then I started looking at some more reviews, and I was like, oh, people do love this as well. Because I don't think it's a debate. This is the best Green Day album in years. It just feels like what you used to get from Green Day, which is a pure sense of electricity and excitement. It's back in spades. I won't spend too much time on the first two songs, American Dream Is Killing Me and Look Ma, No Brains, because I did a video about them, so I really want to get into the rest of the album. But American Dream Is Killing Me immediately is just triumphant. That guitar opening is triumphant. It's Green Day saying, we are back. Sorry for what we've done. We're back, and you can't ignore it. It's like it's a song that immediately grabs your attention. It's about the kind of divided nature of America, the kind of futile sense of the American dream these days, the division. It's about them making sense of it, and they manage to not sound old and jaded because they're keying into, they don't sound like distant boomers, because obviously they understand that the American dream is killing today's generation, so they're actually saying that, so they're staying relevant. Look Ma, No Brains is the catchiest song on the album, and it goes round and round like a roller coaster. It's like a crazy wild ride throughout. The lyrics are dumb, the lyrics are stupid, but you know what? That melody, that vocal, and that Ramones-esque guitar in the background is some of the best punk stuff they've done in years. So I adore this song. I can't get enough of that chorus. Let's get into some of the songs I haven't talked about. Obviously, the next track is Bobby Socks. I've heard a mixed reaction to this song. For me, it's a classic rock sound meets Weezer power pop, and it shows Green Day still have some tricks up their sleeve. I wasn't expecting this. It's an infectious song. There's almost a Nirvana grunge to some of the screaming when Billy just starts shouting, do you want to be my girlfriend? And it's kind of a grunge mixed with that classic rock sound and that Weezer sound. There's lots of stuff to this song. When I heard the singles, I thought Green Day were just going to go back to a completely pure punk album, and that's another strength of Saviors, is the varied nature of the album. There's different kinds of songs, and Bobby Socks is not the sort of song you expect after those first two, but it shows that the band are still experimenting. One Eye Bastard is probably my least favourite song on the album. In fact, it is my least favourite. It's the most one that sounds like the Green Day that I don't like. I got that feeling that I had when I listened to Green Day in recent years, where it just doesn't move me. But it's not as bad as that other stuff, so it's an okay song. It's just, the rest of the album's so good. The next song is Dilemma, which is just a fantastic piece of work. A very well written and thoughtful song, and you immediately get the impression that Billy is back writing these well structured songs. I mean, you don't expect this song. It's written about Billy's obviously ongoing struggles and struggles over time. It's a very honest song. It's about slipping up and admitting you're in trouble again, or you're on the edge of going back into addiction. And that chorus is mental. That chorus is an absolute belter. It's just one of the catchiest things they've done in years. And I love how it's kind of an honest, vulnerable song, but he turns it into this punk anthem. The chorus is so hard hitting and down and dirty, you can imagine them playing it in the old punk clubs that they originally started with. Like, it's such a cutting and raw song. You know, it's distinct and it's harsh and the message is uncompromising. The momentum keeps going into the song 1981, which is a punchy, old school Green Day song. An absolute monster of a chorus that is just going to be going around your head for days. The choruses on this thing are just madness. Like, I've missed that as well from Green Day, the catchiness. And it's just here completely. These songs are so catchy. It feels like Sonic running through a course on Sega. Like, it just conjures that imagery for me. It's so fast, it never stops. And Billie Joe's penning these little interesting lines on this album that aren't throwaway. Lyrically, you know, he was always capable of making little statements that made you think. And the Green Day haven't been doing that for years. But, you know, she's throwing punches to the beat, to the sound of cable TV. She'll never see the world the same. She's a Cold War in my head. And I am East Berlin. On the danger side of parts unknown. You know, it's taking you back, this album. This album focuses on certain eras of Green Day's life that they've experienced, I guess, growing up or whenever. And it conjures up imagery of different times and different feelings and different vibes. And I like that. It's like a look back, this album, as well as being focused on today. One of the most surprising songs on the album is Goodnight Adeline, which is a theatrical rock song, which for me is a My Chemical Romance Black Parade throwback. You know, it reminds me of that. It reminds me of a classic romantic emo song, you know, and I like My Chemical Romance. I've always loved them, so that was great to hear. It sounds like that band could have done it, and again, I wasn't expecting this on the album. There's a great melancholy, yearning verse on this, and Billie Joe his voice sounds so full of feeling and heart. Some days you're sober but still end up with a hangover. Some days are holidays, some days you call your mother. It pulls on your heartstrings, these gentle little tragic lines. And I love how the chorus goes from yearning in the verse to triumphant. And you get a lot of joy from the chorus, and there's a lot of affection to it. I felt there's a real belief in a relationship in that chorus, so it's kind of about an embrace of not knowing what's going to happen and being okay with that. And again, it sounds like old school My Chemical Romance, so I'm always down for that.
You gotta be fucking kidding me! You fucking kidding me!
Coma City is a very interesting song. A lot of these songs sounds like Green Day Celebration, but some of them sound like throwbacks, as I said, to different eras of rock. For me, this sounds like 70s Ramones. Just the guitar licks, the melody, the fact it's still pretty raw, and while it's catchy, it's not overly poppy. It just has a real constant, fast-paced hammering drums and guitar. It's about making an impact with the instruments, creating a raw punk energy. It does also conjure up feelings and vibes for me of 21st Century Breakdown, which is actually an album I really love. I think it's very underrated. You know, that album was really about dystopia and, you know, despair. And, you know, it is about that, this song. It conjures up a dystopia vision for me. It feels very cinematic. Billie Joe talking about boarding up the windows. Don't call the cops, the word on the street is they all quit their jobs. This is about society collapsing, I think, a dystopia vision. And we know Green Day have been having some disagreements with Elon Musk. There is a little line on this, bankrupt the planet for assholes in space. I love that line. Is that a dig at Elon Musk and all these billionaires who want to go to Mars? Who knows?
Go f*** yourself. But go f*** yourself.
Corvette Summer is the next song, and it's everything Father of All was trying to do, and it actually pulls it off. You know, this song is a classic 80s rock song. It conjures driving down the road, you know, in a Corvette. You know, that feeling of driving with the wind in your hair that we've heard so many times before in songs that are all about driving and feeling the freedom and having the radio on. We've heard that so many times. But it's a great feeling. It's a timeless one. You know, there's so much charm and freedom to it, so why not keep creating that spark, that feeling, that memory, that vibe? It feels inspired and rich, and Billie Joe's really managed to tap into what those 80s rock bands did so well. It felt like he was trying too hard on Father of All. This is just natural. It stands up to 80s era rock, it really does. This could have come out back then. Green Day go another direction with the song Susie Chapstick. For me, this again conjures up feelings of 21st Century Breakdown, but also I think this could have belonged on Warning. I mean, it just has that maturity, that introspection to it. This is a very sweet sounding, tragic little song. Words such as outside my window there is nothing but a sky, it's just another vacant, cold and lonely night. I can imagine that on Warning. Feels like the Billie Joe who would write those kind of reflective, almost sad lyrics. Kind of reminds me lyrically of What's Her Name on American Idiot. Regretful, longing, somber song. I don't think it's as good as What's Her Name because What's Her Name's a masterpiece of a song. This seems to be going the same. It's got the sound of sort of Warning 21st Century Breakdown, but it's keying into kind of What's Her Name vibes. Just longing for that person you lost. Doesn't quite get up to the calibre of that, but it's a really solid, very good song. Green Day go back to pure punk on Strange Days Are Here to Stay, a quality punk rock song. I've heard people compare this song to 86 on Insomniac, and it does sound a bit reoccurring of that, but it's still its own song. Much like The American Dream Is Killing Me, this song is about the despair and confusion, and it's directed at the madness going on in America today. Sorry America, but you are mental. For me, it's this reaction to, it's not necessarily like an angry reaction to America, but it's just a reaction to how bizarre things are. Billie Joe just looking around going, what is going on? Like, how divisive and how defensive everyone is, how stressed and how mad at each other and how nothing makes sense. It's really about sitting back and looking around going, WTF.
WTF? What the fuck does WTF mean? What the fuck? Oh.
Strange Days Are Here to Stay. Ever since Bowie died, it hasn't been the same. That really hit me hard because obviously I'm a massive David Bowie fan, and lovely to have Bowie ever mentioned on a Green Day album. That really pulled my heart because you do have that, you know. It's not true that nothing's been the same since Bowie died, but when these figures die, David Bowie, Robin Williams, you know, people like really emotionally connect with that and they feel like nothing's been the same since then. So it's a really understanding lyric, I think. There's one line on this which I think is spectacular. I think it's one of the best things Green Day have written in forever. Like, lonely boy with a heart made of hate. That is a devastating little line, you know, and it can apply to lots of people on any side of the political spectrum. So we go from sad and tragic to just tear-jerking on Father to a Son. A beautiful and incredibly powerful song. It's Billie Joe with a message to his sons, and it's just so lovely, you know. It's Green Day brings such beauty to this song, and you know, you weren't expecting it. You know, again, it's another left field turn on this album. This album is pretty varied. I love that chord change when Billie Joe starts saying, is there anything I can do? Wisdom, where your heart is heading to. The way the song goes into that chord change, goes into him singing that, and the music changes around it. You can't teach that. It's immediately, you know, you're dealing with a world-class ballad. I've said this before, simplicity is so underrated because how you change to another chord progression can be as simple as hell, but if it makes the hairs go up on the back of someone's neck, it's, you know, it means everything. It means the world. It means so much more than a intricate, crazy, complicated song. If you can just tap into those genuine emotions with a chord change, and that's what he does on that, I immediately start to feel as soon as that part of the song comes in, and you get wrapped up in this song.
Father to a son, is there anything I can do? Wisdom where your heart is heading to.
Never knew love could be scarier than anger. That's almost profound. You know, we can have a go at Green Day for dumb lyrics, but that's just an incredibly beautiful line. It's a scary thing that you're responsible for someone else's life, and I think that line just completely encapsulates that. And now we get to my favourite song on the album, and that's saying a lot because I adore this album. So many good songs, but Saviours is fantastic. The explosion of that chorus is incredible. This is just thousands of people singing along. This is just proper anthem.
Calling all saviors tonight, make us all believers tonight. Calling all strangers tonight, will somebody save us tonight?
It's got the potential to just unify this song. You know, it's up there. You know, it's up there with U2's anthems, stadium filling songs. you know, I don't really like them, but Coldplay, like those songs that can just command arenas. This Saviours is that big. It sounds like the biggest thing on earth. When it comes in, it just gets underneath your skin, like a classic rock anthem should. You know, seeing this live, and I really hope they play it when I see them, would blow my socks off. And the album closes out with Fancy Sauce, which is a very interesting little song, some fantastic lyrics on this. Howling at the moon in the afternoon, watch the evening news because it's my favourite cartoon. I mean, what a condemnation of the news and of the media. Everyone's a victim and it makes me want to puke. That's a powerful line. Shows the disintegration of America, where, you know, even to the point where the people who are calling people who say they're victims now are acting like victims. Everyone's a victim, like everywhere now, like every side of the political spectrum. I don't think this is an amazing song, but I think it's a good song. I actually think it's a very well structured song, very well paced song, and it communicates the message very well. It's all about the lyrics. Overall, Green Day Saviours blew my socks off. Like, I just love how big everything on this is. I love to hear Green Day having fun again. I love the vibes. I love the style. I love the playing, the aggression, the punkiness, but also the creativity. And, you know, the way they're still trying out different stuff, the varied nature of the album. I love how it conjures up feelings. You know, it means something, this album. It's gonna get this emotional investment that Green Day have needed since albums such as American Idiot. So I really want to hear what you guys think of Saviours. I really want to talk about this album with Green Day fans. Let me know in the comments what you think of this album. What's your favourite song? All that good stuff. Let's talk about it. And please consider subscribing if you love to talk about rock music. I talk about Oasis, UK rock. I talk about classic rock. I talk about punk rock. All sorts of stuff on this channel. Thanks for watching, and remember, always, whatever you're listening to, play it loud.